So having heard robust arguments, both sides, before final verdict will be rendered, because as part of the game, there must be a winner. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been a need for us to prefer one to the other. But that is how the game is. And before we get there, the most important dimension of the exercise is what we are going to do to give you feedback from the benches and adjudication perspective, so that our feedback will provide some learning opportunities for us in the future. So before I will do mine, I will yield to my colleagues, and when they are done, then I will sum up and give my feedback. But before I come to the feedback, because the Honorable Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana was the one who was supposed to have presided, I once again carry felicitations to you, and she is happy that the issue of corruption is part of the problem, which was argued in this year's Moot problem. And she would like the students, the law students, to work towards ethical leadership. And ethical leadership in the various endeavors you will pursue in foreseeable future post your legal education has to start with how you approach your current legal education. So the values of honesty, hard work, and diligence are encouraged. And her leadership would like to remind you to take lessons with respect to these values, which are to be distilled from the mood problem that you have argued serious, so that it will positively impact on your future career in various ways that you use your legal knowledge as lawyers, judges, politicians, academics, and so on and so forth. So her leadership wish all of you very well. So I will now come back to the feedback session. So I'll start from my left. The judge to my extreme left will give a feedback. And when she's done, the next judge to her. And I'll go to my extreme right in that order.
Sincerely, look at you in the face. It is important looking at you that I am very proud of your performance. Yes, I'm very proud because you have done a human job. Why? I saw how professional you were in your work. You were very calm. I was looking at how you smile and how calm you were to answer questions. Therefore, your professionalism is the result of your hard work during this week and has yielded a good result today. I am very delighted to the extent that young students are very, very extraordinary. So I want to start telling you that I was very convinced of your work, the result. You've done a human job. And I want to say that in life, work is key. Yes, this will allow you to move forward, and also the tenacity that characterize your work, the strength of your argument. Sometimes it became very difficult to defend some of the viewpoints, but you did that with professionalism. Now, I want to give you this advice for the future. You are called to work in bilingual teams throughout the week. You have to cultivate bilingualism, trilingualism, Anglophones working with Francophones, Lusophones. The French and the Lusophones should also strive to learn English, and this is going to bring you together one day. This year, you have formed a very powerful network of friendship coming together from different countries, learning other countries, other people's languages. So I'm advising you to learn other languages. You need to communicate as Africans as well as with the world. Learning many languages is exceptional, and I'm encouraging you to maintain the contact that you have been established throughout this week, this very strong week. Being bilingual, trilingual is going to magnify your professional life. The mastery of foreign languages is going to open more doors for you. Then, to the Anglophone, you master the lingua franca of the world. I want to also advise them to learn French or Portuguese. And the Francophones also, I want you to learn to do the same. And you are going to be at ease in a world which is dominated by English. Some observations I feel that I do not need to give you some advice because you were very, very, you did a human job. I tried to tell you something that anytime questions are put to you, it is not easy to remain calm. So, for some, they did very well. And they even forgot about their agenda, their line of thought to answer their questions. Yes, they did well. And some also tried to go on the sideline and then trying to avoid the question. It is not easy. So you answer the question, try to be calm. And what I want to add, yes, that is the oratorical strength. So you spoke without taking notes. Yeah, that is work. Continue. You did not. You were not pompous in your speech. Yes, but continue in that direction. This track. So you become technical, and then you bring out the clarity. So technicality, clarity of expression. Don't be so pompous. If you become pompous, then you reduce your language. I loved sometimes how you express yourself with humor, passion, and how you you conveyed your ideas. So passion is different from pompousness. I don't have a lot of things to criticize, but I just want to say continue on that track. That work hard. If you continue on that track, everything will be good for you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Apologize firstly because I'm a native speaker of Portuguese and perhaps my English is not the best, but I believe everyone can hear. Uh, First of all, I would like to thank all the students who came here in Kumasi and develop this amazing activity of human rights. Almost 2,000 years ago, I was there, and today, almost 20 years, I was invited to be one of president of this final. So I believe in 10 or 20 years, one of you or all of you come also here because this meaning you have improved your skills in human rights fields. Uh, when I see this final, I I believe we have very young in Africa that we can be proud because you are so talented, confident, and are trying always to improve your skills. That is a good example that the youth and the youngs in Africa are very talented. And I'm very proud what you have done here in these competitions. Mm. So I ask to everyone uh, to try to improve all days. Uh, Regarding the case, I just like to give some advice of you for you. The first advice is try to use the general comment of the articles. Even the commission and the committee them, have made very general comment that help us to understand the meaning of one article. Also, I would like to advise to study also the continental studies. And we have many continental studies developed by the African Commission of People Rights and the Committee of Children Rights. And these general commenters and studies can support you. One of things that I didn't hear in these competitions, for example, is the study that the African Union guidelines to return the safe return from children. I didn't hear any mention the work that the Committee of Children's Rights did because about the COVID-19 and the guideline for the safe return to children to the schools. And when we try to defend something, we have to have a wide research. You have to look for everything that can be support for your defense. And this is what I would recommend for all the teams. For general, and to finish my, I would like to, most important to participate in this kind of activity. We need to be someone which make change in the life. Human rights is protect human dignity. And this is very important. We have also the commitment to support the other people. empathy. Eh, this competition only will be a winner for us if each one of these students go to these countries and being someone who protect human rights, making difference, using what you have learned here to support the people. This is my advice, and thank you for how.
Thank you. So we take comments from that to my extreme right.
Good afternoon, everyone. And I was really impressed with the quality of our students. They displayed good communication skill and good eye contact throughout the case without even staring at the paper. That's a quality, and I need to highlight that. And all of you, you showed that you have a great potential to becoming successful international lawyer in defending human rights case. You also impressed me with the quality of jurisprudence that you were able to rely on and to give the quick response to the bench, which is a virtue. And I want to make and highlight some of the things which I did not get much. It's related with the evidence. We as a lawyer, we know that we need to rely on evidence to make our argument go forward. And not just in the evidence, but the quality of evidence and how this evidence is collected and how it's can be brought to the court and how we presented the evidence and to see the weight of this evidence to being presented. In real life, I believe this is what normally we do as a lawyer. And this international opportunity is not so important just to build the knowledge, but also to have a cultural diversity and to be exposed to different people and build a network of different students from different countries in order to understand that we as Africa, we have a cultural diversity. And I know that there is a language barrier which most of the time undermine a cooperation among us. But we as African continent, we are diverse and rich in culture. And I strongly encourage people who want to pursue the career in human rights to also learn another language. For instance, myself, I speak my native language. My country language is Portuguese. But I managed to speak English. Maybe I'll try to learn a bit of French. I believe that this is important for someone who wants to work in an international environment. This is my advice for you guys. And I was impressed by the students from different backgrounds. The ones who speak French, who have the capacity to articulate and to have a coordinated moves without any distraction. That's a skill on its own. That is very important. And I believe we also need to encourage the Portuguese speaking teams for also to learn either English or French or learn both language in order to be in the same level and to gain the space in the continent. Because I believe if we can do that, we can build a meaningful panel of experts which we can rely on each other and support each other in order to move forward. And it's also important, this exercise, because we have a different legal system. We have common law systems, Roman Dutch system is also this combination, and we from civil law system, we can learn more from common law system and other way around. And also to get the good reference and improvement as we move along when we cooperate among ourselves. And another distinctive feature that I want to mention is that you are a good team player, both teams. They know how to play, but in terms of rhetoric, some of them, they did not adjust the tune of voice. At some point, they just raise a voice. This is something which is very important to give consistency, and you need to have time to breathe and to speak clearly in order to convey your message very clearly and to have a good, I don't know, I'm not finding the word in English, to be audible, to make the judge to understand it clearly, what you try to convey. And there is also importance in the sense that some of you were so good that it was very difficult for the judge to pose this question because we are very articulate and very clear on your explanation. That is also it's my appreciation. I show appreciation for that. And in real world, it's real tough to work in the area of human rights, but it's not possible. We need to be strong, and we need to have a strategy in order to find within our legal system, domestic legal system, the venues that we can take and be creative in order to bring forward the case of human rights. Especially in our country, our country like Mozambique, we Lusophone, we rely mainly or primarily in domestic law, domestic system law, and we do not rely much in human rights. And I think this is a challenge on its own. By this training is also bringing us the possibility for some of us who wants to work in the field of human rights can try to test the system within the country, just to also to educate the judges of the judges that are in exercise and the judge generation years to come, for them to understand the importance of human rights. Some people might think that this is an utopia, but this is a reality. We need to move, and we know that the change takes time, and we need to be persistent, we need to be consistent, and we need to be strong. That's my advice. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, President. I will speak in French, but I just say that I will not be long since I have a flight at 5:30, and I could not find the cell phone of the pilot to ask him to wait for me. So I will not be long.
My colleagues have said the needful, but the observations we're supposed to make. I'm going to be very brief, but I want to say that this was a human job, very impressive, because you were very professional. I thought that I was before professional lawyers. It was very impressive, were very spontaneous in your answers. You were very precise in your arguments, and also the mastery of the fact, the jurisprudence, and also how calm you were, and then the posture you adopted before this court. For me, the winner, it is the experience that you have, the experience you have acquired through this exercise. Sometimes it is complex to decide, but when you are a judge, there are some decisions that are very challenging. Not that it is not on merit, but sometimes it is difficult. But when you get home, you can't sleep because you have the impression that something did not go on well. Something that's supposed to be more accurate, therefore, sometimes it is difficult. Today, it was very difficult to pronounce ourselves, looking at how meritorious you were and professional you were, but we have to come out with a winner and also an assistant winner. Yeah, in fact, you did a human job, both sides, very impressive. So this is what I want to say. Whether the respondent, the defendant, I think you still have a brighter future, and we can help to encourage you. We should continue in your activities, projects for the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Judge. So I stand on the platform of all the feedbacks which my colleagues have rendered. Just to add a few more points, and we yield to the auditor and organizers to take over before the verdict will be given. So first, those who know the Christoph Hens African Human Rights Legal Competition, the original idea was to build human rights advocates for the African system, which had just started with the work of the Commission, Africa Commission, and later on the African Court. Now that objective is still relevant. Few lawyers must use the African human rights system in domestic litigation. So that is the idea. And all of you here as law students, future lawyers, what you are learning and observing by participation in this competition throughout the week should not just end here. It must follow you into professional career, so that if you need to do anything human rights, don't limit yourself to just the Bill of Human Rights in your local constitution, but you must also make use of the knowledge, the rich jurisprudence, and the scholarly commentaries which have been generated around the African human rights system. And it is gratifying to know that if you look at our Supreme Court decisions and even to sometimes some High Court decisions, you see an effort of using some uh, material from other African human rights systems or even from the general one at the UN level. And we need to do more. And that is why you as future lawyers, future legal academics and judges and all that, we would like to use this opportunity to encourage you to embrace that. That way, the purpose of the Christoph Hens All Africa Human Rights Movement competition will be realized, and it will not just remain an academic exercise. Having said that, mooting in general provides opportunity for students who embrace it to develop great intellectual skill, because you have to research, and those who have been participating in the mooting throughout the week will bear testimony to that, that before they could arrive at their arguments, they've done extensive research. And as you do research, you are acquiring very important skill, intellectual and also transferable skill, which you can deploy in your future careers and endeavors. So it is good that you chose to participate, because having been a teacher and a follower of mooting some years before going to the bench, I know how difficult it is to get students to participate in moot court competition. Because some of them think that it's just a waste of time, and just let me concentrate on my local models, examinations, and all that. But I can tell you that you haven't wasted your time. You've acquired profound knowledge and appreciation of various areas of the law. And in terms of skills, you've also accumulated valuable skills which you would not have acquired easily had it not been your participation in this exercise. So you haven't wasted your time. As my colleagues have said, today's competition has been quite great. And let me say that uh, whatever verdict will be given should not be taken too much at heart, to be too excited or to be too sad. And this is the explanation. We independently award marks as we hear you and observe. So that is very fresh, and we don't talk to one another regarding what I am giving or what he or she is giving. Then when it is done, we just put the figures raw as they are in the system program on the organizers, and whatever will come out will help us to pick a winner. And that is why I said that you don't have to be worried, but as my colleague just said, the most important victory is the experience, the learning, the participation, the networking, and all that you have actually lived throughout the week. The mark of a good advocate is the ability to think on their feet. And when I am presiding in mooting or any adjudication, I would like to engage advocates because that tests your understanding of the argument. It is very easy for argument to be cooked or prepared for you, and then we just master it and come and parrot it. But then the engagement with the bench and how you respond demonstrate your ability to think on the feet. And both sides, applicant, respondent, you've all demonstrated impressive skills in that regard. And I'd like to congratulate all of you and keep it up. So don't be worried when you are being engaged by the panel of judges. That is an opportunity for you to prove to them that you understand the law, you understand the facts, and you know what you are doing. And nobody has just prepared an argument for you to just come and rattle it around and go. And again, in terms of pace of argumentation, I would like to advise that you need to slow down the delivery. Sometimes I could see some of the advocates wanted to rush and then just get away so that they can move to another point. That is not it. You are time, but if you are not able to carry all your prepared arguments, it's not necessarily going to affect how you be scored. Whatever you are able to do and the engagement and all that, that is what the judges use to form their impression. So you need to take your time and then make your argument. So that is very important. And just before I leave, yes, my colleagues have touched on questions. Sometimes difficult questions are asked, and we don't know how to go about it. And I also like what some of you did. If you don't understand the question, there's nothing wrong for you to politely ask the bench to restate it so that you understand it, especially so in international competition or setting like this, where we have different tonation, different accent and all that. So it's not about the language and how nice you speak the English language or the French, but then the content and the skills, which are more important. Yeah, so those are things I thought I should remind you. And again, I was also impressed with the use of logical reasoning. Some of you use logical reasoning in answering questions and sometimes using very impressive analogies. And that is something that you have to keep developing. I mean, on the whole, all of you have done very well, and the Africa can only look forward to having great leaders. And just to reiterate what my boss said, that is her leadership, the Chief Justice, that you should make an effort don't give up on Africa. Don't say that nothing can be done. Corruption is a bigger problem across various countries in Africa. And that is why, as young people, and having regard to the mood problem that you argue, we have to draw lessons from it and tell ourselves that we are not going to fall into those mistakes. So we are going to be the better future of Africa. So that is very important. So on that note, we'd like to congratulate all the teams and all participants. Thank you very much.